We're gonna have to say that joke again then. Necking pipes, smashing pipes with little lads. It's only we had one.
Smashing it.
Spent 2 up, so I'm freaking out with the phone. Anyway,
this is 8 point, lads. Point 101. We're gonna choose for the nomination list.
I'm like 50% sure I press record, so. So, Sony have to mention Destiny, I suppose.
Yeah, it's got Halo music. Is it the same person that does the music?
It was.
Those wizards came from the moon.
That's that obligatory reference.
They did come from the moon.
The same guy who was writing the music for Halo was writing it for Destiny.
And then he got fired and they got Paul McCartney.
Is it Paul McCartney now?
No. He didn't replace him, but they said they were working with Paul McCartney.
He got fired.
Yeah.
It was supposedly under friendly circumstances, but now he's suing them, so probably wasn't that friendly. But yeah. Mars with AK. Yeah, that's just me. I like the fact that Peter Dinklage is in it, even though apparently... I like Peter Dinklage. I've seen him in...
So do I.
Like 3 films.
Who doesn't? I'm not saying I don't like him. I'm saying
the
he's
internet
bad.
doesn't like him, because he was like... What was it? The one that you literally just said that we don't...
Those wizards came from the moon.
The thing that annoyed me when they do in multiplayer games like this is, you are Earth's last hope. Always.
What?
With
all the other players?
Yeah, apart from the other millions of people who will be playing.
Yeah, so that's the problem with multiplayer games like this, that are constantly multiplayer.
If it's a single player, it makes sense.
How do they make you important about the story? Because you're playing it with everyone else.
Yeah, because they'll give you story missions.
Have Peter Dinklage be really emotional, really get it home.
About wizards.
Predominantly about wizards, I think.
I want it. It looks really good.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just something about it that I don't. Yeah.
It looks
I
very.
don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's like I'll give you that. It does look very like meh.
Borderlands.
Yeah.
Halo.
It looks like I'd imagine multiplayer. It'd be brilliant.
I've heard. It's
but that just means that I have to buy the PS4 because you two will both buy the PS4 and get it on that, which is better because there are a shit ton of exclusives for PlayStation.
Always exclusives.
It's everything they announce is exclusive.
Have an hour of exclusive content.
Yeah, essentially. It was exclusives, and they said there's always going to be more with PlayStation 4, which is either a risky announcement or a really annoying fact. So either way.
For you got an Xbox One.
For you.
Well, I'm going to get a PlayStation 4 anyway because I might as well waste all of my money. But I don't like exclusives on either side.
No.
Because it just it's 3 next-gen consoles at the moment. You buy one, you're missing out on at least 50% of good quality content that you can't get because it just annoys me.
Apart from Sunset Overdrive,
which hopefully we get to miss out on, but we don't because I've got Xbox One.
Yeah, but then you get Halo.
Yeah, the alpha's now. I don't see the point in alpha at all. The beta's July 17th, which means it's happened already.
The alpha's a beta.
And then. Only other thing I thought was that the audience was cheering a little bit too enthusiastically for the white version of the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, people love that.
They love the fact that it's white. Racism.
Yeah.
So, Order 1866.
I've got a silver PS3. That's cool.
Sorry.
Karen, talk about silver PS3.
So I've got a silver PS3. It's for sale. If anyone wants to buy it, please.
Hit us up, yeah.
Yeah, please do it.
And
Hashtag PS3 silver.
Yeah. Hashtag PS3. Actually, you can't put it. The Order
1866.
Oh. It reminds me quite a lot of Rise. And it looks nice.
Yeah.
But
will it play nice?
It doesn't look like it doesn't look fun to play.
I'm still probably going to get... The Rise is still... Considering it's got fluctuating reviews, and some people have said it's a fun game to play, and some people have said it's literally the worst thing that's ever happened to gaming.
People
they have.
It's not great.
But for some reason, it's still more than 40 quid, which means there's got to be some reason that people are buying it.
Sweet graphics, that's right.
Crazy.
But then there's loads of other games for that.
Sweet graphics.
The thing that they've been selling on is it as a seamless transition between cinematics and gameplay.
Max Payne had that.
Yeah. My point is that other games have had that, and the problem with that is that the gameplay looks like the gameplay isn't really gameplay because it just moves like cinematics.
And also press X to win, right?
Yeah. You know the bit where he was like walking along and shooting at the werewolf?
That reminded me of House of the Dead.
Even if you didn't shoot him,
yeah,
it'd still be exactly the same.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
That's the thing that's the main. Although a zombie werewolf is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Story-driven third-person shooter RPG. That was, I don't know why I put that in because it's kind of self-explanatory. It looks kind of impressive if it is what we think it is, and I don't think it is. If it's a story-driven third-person shooter, that I'm pretty sure they've released footage of it being
Just graphics.
actually active before, because that gameplay trailer was surprisingly dull, considering it's about being locked underground with a zombie werewolf.
I like the fact that it's period. There's like
Yeah,
18.
well,
That's
steampunk,
cool because
isn't it?
you don't get a lot of games
Kind
like
of
that.
steampunk.
Yeah, they've got like
Okay, I don't like that because steampunk's lame.
steampunk.
It's not cyberpunk, is it?
Steampunk's
We'll get on to
very
Cyberpunk
overused.
later.
Do we want to talk about Entwined?
No.
Not really.
Apart from that, it's just
It's out now,
They're talking-
isn't it?
PS4 versions out now.
Yeah.
Infamous First Light. I don't care about Infamous. Little Big Planet 3.
Yay.
Let's mention it.
So many scouters.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Hey up, lads. It's time to play games.
The people playing the game suck.
Yeah, mate, I'm a really bad time playing Little Big Planet 3 at the moment.
Do you reckon they specifically introduced the flying character just so that they would
could
actually
win?
Yeah, so that they could actually finish the mission.
They bigged up the fact, I believe his name's Oddsock, the
Mm,
dog.
yeah.
It's like, yeah, he can wall jump, and then they were like, fourth character's a bird and can fly and completely negates everything in platformer.
Seeing as how he can pick up all the characters
Yeah.
apart from the big character who can make himself small, so you can pick him up as well.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
There you go.
Yeah.
It did remind me of
It looks like, but to be fair, it looks like it's a kid specifically designed for. Sorry, a game specifically designed for kids.
I still think it looks really fun.
Yeah, I reckon if I had kids, I'd buy it.
That'll be quite
Preferably my own kids, not kids that I just stolen.
It did remind me of when Worms added classes. In Worms.
Yeah, they have the
Revolution,
brain
and
model.
yeah, they added classes just to kind of mix it up after quite a lot of Worms. It did seem a bit like
I
that.
don't
It
think
seemed-
Worms really needed mixing up. There's a reason that people are still buying it because it's fun.
But yeah, it's not made by Media Molecule, who made the last two.
Mm.
Media Molecule are doing something else, which will probably be better than Little Big Planet 3.
Nothing will be better than Little Big Planet 3. It's got a dog and a big little man. It's got a
A
bird.
Little
in it.
Big Man.
Yeah, he starts off big, but he can get what?
It's a little big man. Little Big
A
Planet.
Little Big Planet.
Shit.
Wow.
It turns out he is like the creator, and it's
Yeah,
just
that's
being
right.
played off as the sick.
Yeah,
Sick? I mean thick.
could be sick.
Does anyone want to talk about Bloodborne?
Jack does.
I'm assuming you do, because I could tell. Oh yeah,
I like Dark
you told me
Souls.
about it. I had no idea what it was about.
So you know Dark Souls?
I know Dark Souls.
The guy who the creative director of Dark Souls, who didn't creatively direct Dark Souls 2, which some people
No.
were like, this game is good, but not as good as Dark Souls.
No.
There were quite a few things that people didn't like about Dark Souls 2. If I remember.
The bosses.
The bosses and the fact that you periodically
I like a lot of things.
you
about it.
lost health constantly when you died. You didn't get it back.
I like that.
But then you could. Enemies didn't constantly respawn. So
Yeah, that's
you could
scary.
Farm, well, you couldn't farm enemies, but you
No,
could
all
get
the
to the
enemies
point
were better
where
than you were.
They're not there
you've
anymore.
killed them and then you just wander into an empty
Yeah.
dungeon.
Anyway,
But
Bloodborne.
Bloodborne is like Dark Souls, but they seem to put a lot more focus on. I don't know, because Dark Souls has always had really nice world design, but this still seems like very thematic. Because Dark Souls is always like, here's the big castle bit, here's the old jungle bit,
Yeah.
but this still seems like there were pumpkins and it was all kind of Halloweeny and dark and like leading up to this.
Gothic.
If it's really focused and like has a coherent story that you don't need to
Yeah.
like find out by looking on the internet, that would be great. I kind of like that about Dark Souls 2, and Dark Souls. But, yeah, and there's guns in it as well.
Mm,
But I bet the guns won't be like you won't be able to kill people like with one shot or anything.
no.
So it's kind of like Devil May Cry in that sense, but not really. It looks really cool, but you can't say much about it because
They
they've
didn't
only shown
show-
a bit. They shown a bit of gameplay.
They only showed
It's like Dark Souls.
Yeah.
There's Dark Souls.
So, and then there's
Dog
just
Souls.
Far Cry 4
Dog
again.
Souls. More like Dog Souls.
Dog Souls.
Hashtag Dog Souls.
Hashtag Dog Souls. Get on it. Follow the conversation.
They did Far Cry gameplay.
Yeah,
Which is-
everybody.
It just looks like Farcraft.
Thought the
Farcraft. Fucking Far Cry.
like Farscape, didn't it? That's a bit like Farscape.
I didn't even say Farscape, but that's what I was thinking of. I said Farcraft.
you
Somehow I got Starcraft.
What do you think
in
about
there.
Farscape?
I don't know. Because it's got far in it, and that's about it.
Okay.
I do think that the elephant seemed a little bit overpowered.
Yeah.
But
The fact that he could just
The last boss.
blow stuff up. Yeah, the elephant, he like trains you up, then you realise
Yeah, he betrays
he's
you.
the big baddie in the end.
Yeah, it's
But then they couldn't end their stage demo with a massive mammal just exploding.
They should have.
The gyrocopter multiplayer. The fact that it has multiplayer looks kind of good.
Yeah.
Because that was kind of what I wanted in
do
Far
you know
Cry
what?
3.
And
They
it,
have
it,
multiplayer.
It hasn't got proper multiplayer though, has it?
The multiplayer in Far Cry
It's-
3 was
it's-
shit.
It's
Why hasn't it got proper multiplayer?
so I don't know if
Assassin's Creed doesn't have proper multiplayer.
No.
I don't
Far
think
Cry
it's
3 has-
online.
Far
Far Cry
has-
2 had online multiplayer and you
Yeah.
could make maps as well.
Yeah,
You couldn't.
Far Cry 3 had multiplayer that was
You
had
make
nothing
maps
to
in
do with
3?
had nothing to do with the story.
Really?
It had a map creator.
Really? I didn't
Three.
know that.
Yeah.
I didn't play any like
Far Cry 2
online
did.
multiplayer.
Far Cry
Yeah,
2
Far
had
Cry
enough.
3 I'm saying.
Yeah, Far Cry 3.
Oh, I didn't know
Did
that.
it? Yeah. Because I used to make loads of. I used to make an arena and just make people fight those castlery big bird things, the terrifying birds.
Oh, the cassowary, yeah.
It's horrible.
Oh, that's
I don't know.
cool. That game's really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Far Cry 3.
That's what it is.
So that's Far Cry 4.
And it looks good that the fact they've just gone. You can have the wingsuit basically from the beginning because the wingsuit's pretty much the best bit.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
fun.
Sweet.
And then there's the thing about not having to buy the game if
Yeah.
you've got a PlayStation 4.
No, I think I'll do it.
Dead Island 2. Do we
Oh,
want to talk about it?
Mm-mm.
it's just Dead Island. It seems weird that they're basically
It's made by someone else.
competing with themselves with Dying Light because there's basically they could both be
It's not Deep Silver.
There's not. Sorry.
they could both be
I was barely
sequels
paying
to
attention
Dead
to that.
Island.
Actually,
Yeah, I think it was Deep Silver.
no. It's a different developers.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Apart from the fact that the
They
trailer,
didn't show much of it.
the trailer this time was shit.
Mm.
I thought it was
Should have been a
weird crossover with Diablo. I don't get that at all.
Thought
There's-
that was The Last of Us.
No, the Dead Island. Dead Island 2. There's exclusive content for PlayStation. Not even for, despite the fact that Diablo's a PC game that got ported to PlayStation. You get exclusive. I think it's exclusive to the PlayStation Diablo 3.
Mm.
And I don't know. It just seems really weird, considering that Diablo's a serious game and Dead Island apparently isn't anymore,
Well,
according to the trailer.
I
Where it's
think
the guy jogging who then turns into a zombie.
but then Dead Island was never as serious as the little
The
girl
trailer.
flying forwards, backwards through a window.
Then there was. Only reason I was going to mention Battlefield Hardline again is because they said it's an exclusive trailer, and it was just stuff from the gameplay that they'd already done at E3.
looking at a crane, jumping off a building, getting arrested.
Nope. Does anybody really want to talk about Disney Infinity 2 or Magic 2?
Marvel.
Yeah.
That's all you want to talk
Marvel!
about. Infinity.
Magic 2. The
Magic-
trailer was fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
the
got a
trailer
spell fucking thing.
Paradox are cool. They make.
I actually like them.
Well, they made Magical 1, right?
Those
But
guys-
I've never played it,
They blew up the cat. I thought.
but they're the ones who make. And there's Crusader Kings and Victoria and Europa Universalis. They're really the grand strategy
Yeah.
games, and they make Magic as well. I think they're Russian or something. Not Russian, but
But somewhere around there.
some other country.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cass is a bottle opener.
and yeah,
Drinking in real time.
Magic 2.
Yeah, it looks pretty good actually.
Well, Magic.
Grim Fandango. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, everyone
That's
was pleased.
Everyone was pleased about it. I gotta be honest, I know literally nothing about it. It's
Okay.
a point-and-click adventure game.
It's an adventure game made by Telltale, sorry. Made by LucasArts.
Mhm.
So you know LucasArts.
It's one of those really
Rest in peace, LucasArts.
one of the really old
Hashtag
ones.
rest
isn't
in
it?
peace.
They made Monkey
like
Island.
Oh, yeah, I
Full
did,
Throttle.
Mm.
Oh yeah, I know what it is. Sorry.
Dare the Tentacle.
Yeah,
All those cool adventure games everyone likes. Indiana Jones and something.
but this was in the
Atlantis.
Yeah, Indiana Jones goes to Atlantis.
That's
Indiana Jones, the Grand Day Out.
It's like-
wasn't it?
yes,
goes
yeah.
to the moon in that one.
This was the during the PlayStation 4. We really, seriously, guys, we really love indie games.
Yeah, please.
These are
But
some letters from people who definitely
But it's
don't
not indie
exist.
games.
He doesn't love indie games because he doesn't wear indie game t-shirts.
No, he
He's
doesn't.
wearing a suit.
Also, the Tim Schafer,
Oh, yeah.
Double Fine guy, because the Double Fine guy made his own studio. He worked at LucasArts. He pioneered all those.
Isn't Tim Schafer the one who recently did like a Kickstarter campaign to make a game and then immediately got like 4 times as many again?
That wasn't so recently, but that was for Broken Age. I bought that game the other day. It's good.
Good.
It's an adventure game.
It couldn't really not be good.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And then I've got a list of games. I don't know why. Probably because that's what PlayStation did with them. Sony did with them. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll tell you about these games.
Broforce, Titan South, Not a Hero, Hotline Miami.
I'll tell you about these games.
Broforce is
Broforce is
It looks like
a
a fun game.
side scrolling shooter. That's out.
Yeah, that's been out for a while. It looks fun.
It's kind of fun, apparently. You know.
It's just fucking ridiculous. You play as like Rambo and then
But it's called Bro Rambo, like Brobocop and
Brambo. No, that doesn't work.
yeah, some of them.
Rambro.
Some of them, yeah, might be that.
That's probably what it is. 'Cause I invented that. No, probably already happened.
Titan Souls is really cool.
Titan South. We've got Titan South. I don't know.
No, that's right. Denetton, because these are all the games that Denetton are publishing.
That'll be why we'll put them in together. Got Miami 2.
Wait, Denetton or Devolver Digital?
I've probably got that wrong. So.
I think it's Devolver Digital.
Alright. Sweet.
I'm sorry.
It should be.